Greetings, good day. This is Donnie with TechWinner, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, guys, the folks at AZDome reached out to me again recently and asked me to test out a different type of dash cam. So today we're taking a look at the Lingdu streaming media mirror dash cam. This is the LD03 model. So today we're going to unbox it, we're going to test it, and I'm going to talk about some of the quirks and awesome qualities about this device as well. So without any further ado, let's dive in and let's take a look. So guys, before we jump too far into today's video, I really want to break down dash cameras into what I'm now identifying as three similar but very separate categories. So that first one is going to be your traditional dash cam. Yes, this is the one that you would just mount to your windshield that has a camera that's pointing out and one that's pointing into the interior of the car. It does all the stuff that you would expect it to. It could be in 1080p, it could be 2K, it could be 4K, depending on the model. It's typically going to have a memory card in it that you could remove and then plug into a computer to be able to download any type of footage that you'd have. The second category that I would call out is what I would call a car security cam. And I would definitely put the Ring car cam at the top of this list. It is really designed to be a camera that records even when the car isn't running. It's going to detect motion if somebody tries to break into your vehicle. When you're not there, you're going to have footage of that. It has the option of cellular connectivity, so you can always do a live look-in from a mobile app, regardless of where you are. As long as it has a good cellular connection, you can at least have visibility on your car. You have GPS tracking you can do from an app as well. So really more security related that happens to also have some dash cam functionality to where when you're driving, you're still getting that footage of where you're driving and what's happening on the interior of your car. So this third category really is more of a streaming media category. And I don't know if that's the best descriptor for it, but it's the best I can come up with at this point in time. And that's the one that Lingdu actually uses, what AZDome, the parent company, has put in place for this product. And just diving right into this unboxing experience. Guys, the box, the packaging itself was nice, high quality. I like that you slide the exterior part of the box out like a sleeve and just kind of opening it up. That first impression is this mirror, which yes, is also a display, is absolutely massive. Now, I will say when I actually go to install this in my car, it wasn't as big as I expected it to be, but just the visual of opening this up in this box, I love that first impression. Absolutely impressive. And just kind of diving into some of the other things in the box there as well, you're going to find the front-facing camera, a rear-facing camera, a GPS sensor, some wire tooling, and answers to any questions you might possibly have in the instructions, including a really nice wire diagram that came in super handy for me when it came time to actually install this in my car. So just kind of jumping right into that installation process itself, you're going to use some of these, I don't have a good name for what they are, but for that installation process, you need these like rubber elastic things that actually hold it in place around your mirror. It basically wraps it and it puts it into place basically over top of your existing car mirror. Now, this is a very reflective surface, so you still have just the natural mirror that happens here, but when you turn this on, you get everything hooked up. You also do have the ability to see a video display off of this as well. So just kind of going through some of that installation process, guys, it's a lot of wiring. It was work getting this set up. I probably spent about 15 minutes getting this thing completely clean as I possibly could. As you can kind of see above the mirror itself, there's still a bit of wiring here. I think I could have done a better job trying to tuck some of this up into the ceiling, but it's a lot of cable, you guys. But I actually do appreciate how snug this fits over the existing mirror. And with my mirror specifically in my Infinity, there's also garage door opener buttons, but I actually still had easy access to them. They're very easy to still reach to be able to open and close my garage doors without any type of issue. One other nice feature that most rear view mirrors have is they'll dim at night if there's something bright on them. I will say that the way this glass is designed, I didn't have any issues with really bright lights or reflections hitting me and really bothering my vision. So it does a very good job in that category as well. It also, of course, does have an SD card slot. Inside the packaging, it did include a 64 gig card. I did go ahead and put a Samsung 128 gig card in here. And just in my testing over this last week, I've driven a cumulative about 6 to 7 hours. And I will say that that memory card is about 65% full right now. So I have about 35% capacity left on that 128 gig. So it's going to get you somewhere in a range of about 10 hours of video, if I had to guess. And yes, that is video, both the front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera. So this is a great spot to talk a little bit about that resolution. Yes, both of those cameras are 1080p. So the quality was a little bit inferior to some of the other cameras that I've tested that are especially at that 2K level or even up to a 4K level. So I will say, for those of you in the comments, you're going to ask the question, so I'll try to answer it right now for you. I did have a hard time reading some of those license plates. Obviously, you can still see a lot of detail from, description of a vehicle, but it was even hard just to try to pause some of these images and be able to get them if I wasn't right up next to one of those different types of cars. Obviously, the closer you are to a license plate, the easier it is going to be to read. In this case, when you were moving, I had difficulty reading that. But guys, I have to say, as a driver, I'm very impressed with this product. Of having that extra content that's happening on my mirror, I can still see through the mirror itself. But basically, if I focused my eyes, I could see the video. And you could set it to just like that rear camera, which is what I did for most of my experience. You can do the front-facing camera if you'd like. You can also do a split screen view to where you can see both at any given time. Most of the time during my day driving, I didn't actually notice the video content as much with it just being so bright outside, except for on those edges where I was getting more of that dark reflection from the seating and just kind of that rear pillar on my car, which is actually really handy because down on that bottom left-hand corner that's closest to my eye, it actually did give me the miles per hour on the display, which was very handy. Nice information to have. I don't have a heads-up display in my car like on the windshield. So it was actually more convenient for me to get that data right there as opposed to looking down at my speedometer or looking over at my Apple CarPlay where Waze might be telling me that information. And then also it did have on the far opposite end of it, it had a clock there as well. So just being able to have that information there as well, GPS information, just ensuring that it was recording, that data was on the screen as well. And some really nice on-screen things around if you wanted to make sure that your memory card remembered a specific event, you could hit this lock button to where it would lock that file so it would not be overwritten if your memory card fills up. So again, I thought that was an incredibly handy feature to have. But guys, after driving with this setup for several days, I'm incredibly impressed. And I would not be surprised to see just the general automotive industry moving away from just a mirror to something like this with an on-screen display that gives you a ton of information. The other incredibly handy thing about that display, especially with the rear, was you have a wider lens, and it actually did cover my blind spots to where I could see those by looking at the display, which was incredibly handy. No more of this looking over to see outside of my window. I could look at the mirror, I could get all the information I needed, and if there was anybody in my blind spot, I knew it immediately. So guys, this is definitely a new market, but one that's very affordable, very attainable for you to enter into, which transitions right now to looking at that Amazon price. As you can see right now, this product is on Amazon for $139. They actually, as of this moment, have a $40 off coupon as well. That does take this down to $100. So for that, you get a fantastic display, 2 cameras, and a 64 gig SD card as well. This is a great bargain, you guys. So tell me in the comments, are you a traditionalist as far as dash cams are concerned, a purist? Are you somebody who's more into the security conscious part of somebody getting in and out of my car? Or would it be the multimedia experience that something like this would provide for you? I'd love to hear about your experiences there as well. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't already, I'd ask you to consider liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so that you're always staying up to date with new content as it's uploaded. But for now, I'm Donnie with Tech Winner, helping you make winning decisions when it comes to your tech. You guys have a great day.